As students in transitional classes prepare to return to the classroom, Lagos State government lifts ban on religious gatherings after almost 5 months. At least 68 persons were reportedly killed in the month of July in the 4 southern Kaduna local government areas. Is there any end in sight to the southern Kaduna killings? Hello and welcome to our millions of viewers here in Nigeria and all around the world. This is Firecrackers, where we discuss issues of national interest. I am Kelly Egiga, and Firecracker starts right now. Begin with our global COVID-19 update, and we begin here in Nigeria, as Nigeria has recorded 386 more cases of the novel coronavirus, bringing its total infections to 43,537. This is according to the nation's top disease control agency. Now, in a tweet on Saturday night, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) noted that 4 more persons died from the virus as recovery numbers hit 20,087. Just like Friday's results, the FCT topped states with new infections after reporting 130 fresh cases, followed by Lagos with 65 cases. Now, other states with new cases include Plateau, 23, Rivers, 15, Enugu, 14, Nasarawa, 12, Bayelsa, Ebonyi, 11, Ekiti, 9, Oyo and Edo, 8, Abia has 6, Ogun and Katsina, 3, Imo and Adamawa, 1. We are live in the UK, Kaduna and Calabar, the Cross River State capital, in just a moment. But here is a background to our main discussion, really. In February 1992, riots broke out in Zango, Qatar, following disagreement about a planned relocation of the market in Zango. The Justice Rahila Kujo Commission of Inquiry submitted its report to the Kaduna State government in June 1992. However, a second outbreak of violence occurred in Zango in May 1992, which was followed by disturbances in other parts of the state. The Kujo Commission submitted a report on this event in September 1992. However, the Kaduna State government has not been able to establish if a white paper was produced into either or both of these reports. In the interest of providing a full account of one of the most tragic episodes in the history of the state, it decided that the report be made public. But 28 years after the white paper agreement, the crisis and the killings in southern Kaduna has gone unabated. But do we have an end in sight to these killings, and just how soon? Well, that's my opening thought, but around the world in 5 minutes or less starts right now.
Latin America coronavirus death toll hit 200,000. The death toll in Latin America from the novel coronavirus has surpassed 200,000, a Reuters tally showed, after Peru reported another 191 deaths from the pandemic early on Sunday. Most of COVID-19 fatalities in South America are recorded in Brazil and Mexico. More than 17.79 million people around the world have been diagnosed with the new coronavirus. Almost 10.5 million patients have recovered and more than 684,000 have died, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. Australia's Victoria declares state of disaster over coronavirus. The state premier of Australia's Victoria has declared a state of disaster to help contain the surge in coronavirus cases, as he reported 671 new infections, almost double the previous day. In a news conference on Sunday, Victoria Premier Daniel Andrews also announced a curfew in the city of Melbourne and new movement restrictions for its residents. Thousands demand Netanyahu quit over coronavirus and corruption. Thousands of demonstrators have gathered outside the official residence of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and thronged the streets of central Jerusalem as weeks of protest against the Israeli leader appear to be gaining steam. The demonstration in central Jerusalem, along with smaller gatherings in Tel Aviv near Netanyahu's beach house in central Israel and at dozens of busy intersections nationwide, was one of the largest turnouts in weeks of protests. Republican renomination of Trump to be held in private. The Republican Party votes to nominate President Donald Trump will be conducted in private later this month, without members of the press present, a spokeswoman for the party's national convention said, citing coronavirus concerns. While Trump called off the public component of the convention in Florida last month, citing spike in cases of the virus across the country, 336 delegates are scheduled to gather in Charlotte, North Carolina on August 24 to formally vote to make President the GOP nominee once more. And finally, South Africa virus cases pass 500,000 mark. South Africa has surpassed 500,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19, representing more than 50% of all reported coronavirus infections in Africa's 54 countries. It also reported more than 8,000 deaths.
These attacks are still going on. So it is important to know that we also have information that they are going to attack massively and coordinately in southern Kaduna after the Salah break. We are calling on our people to be vigilant, and we are asking them to do all that they can to keep themselves alive. Without life, nothing can happen.
4 local governments currently are under curfew, which means there are clashes in 4 local governments. Now, the security agencies are spread thin, apart from activities and other challenges that are happening across the country. So it will be difficult to have the largest concentration of security agencies in southern Kaduna because they are spread everywhere. But I wouldn't say they are complicit, but they are limited.
Why government need to rise up to protect life and property. If killings continue, you wouldn't need to preach to the people to defend themselves. You don't need to tell them. They will rise up. Nobody told you to buy a generator. You bought it. And nobody will tell you to make a road to your house. You will do that, even if that is the responsibility of government. So that's why we are calling on government to rise up immediately and do the needful before there will be breach of law and order.
Welcome back. You're watching Firecrackers, and we are live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. Now let's just continue with our global COVID-19 updates for a moment as we get to look at the economic impact. And we are live in the UK as we have Edwin Etefia, a business intelligence consultant, standing by to speak with us very briefly. Well, Edwin, if you can hear me loud and clear, let's get to talk about the international market. How are we faring so far?
Yet, although there have been some promising news around on the globe that things are getting better, especially with the vaccine development by the University of Cambridge. Yes, we don't actually know the actual time when this vaccine would be in the market. However, it's also a promising view, a promising event, I'll put it that way, for the global economy as a whole. And if you notice, the market will actually rally around the news of the vaccine being around. But apart from that, the impact of COVID-19, is still present within us. I'm not sure if you have the slide, that I actually putting up there, but from the slide that I have shared with your team, if you look down the slide, you'll notice that despite that different central banks across the world actually pumping money into the society to try to minimize the shock in the global market, and you notice that shares have actually rallied a little bit. But the threat of unemployment is still there, within the world in general. Different countries, especially the United Kingdom, where I am at the moment, the unemployment rate is about 4.8 at the moment. In the US, you have the unemployment rate, which is about 10.4. And in terms of hiring, despite the fact that we've had money being pumped into the economy, the slow pace at which companies are actually hiring is something that is also a bit of a concern, that we are not totally out of the wood yet. There have been some news around, especially the new data that's been published by the International Monetary Fund, that there are some countries that are actually at the brink of recession. In the slide that I have shared with your team, you will notice, some areas which are with red paint that shows areas that are on the brink of a recession.
Okay.
And in terms of consumer confidence within the world itself, it's something that have been down as well. So totally, there's still a challenge. We have the flight, hospitality industry that have been hardly hit. Things have been picking up gradually, but we still have a long way to go. Of recent, when it comes to the oil prices as well, Nigeria being a typical example that was hardly hit, by the low price of oil. So in general, yes, we are getting there, Kelly.
Okay.
But however, we are not totally out of the wood yet.
All right, we're making efforts to see how we can share some of the visuals you have shared with our team. But just a very quick one before we get to talk about Nigeria. Let's look at the situation in the UK. I mean, the religious bodies in the UK. We were speaking earlier, and you said the churches were probably allowed to meet. However, we're not allowed to sing and praise God. So, and how's that coming?
It's been a huge challenge within the religious communities that also include the churches and the mosques and other places of worship as well. And what the government is trying to do now is trying to gradually open social events, social centers. But what they have said to the churches that yes, you can gather and worship, but you shouldn't have more than 30 people in a gathering. And when you gather, you are not allowed to sing. Now, from the church perspective, worshiping is the core part of we gathering together in church. So what the churches have decided to do is to continue with the Zoom gathering that they've had in the past 3 months.
Okay, we're having some very little issues with the network, but let's see if we can speak with you as we round off now. The Lagos State government has finally reopened worship centers. We'd like to hear your views on that because, as we know, Lagos State remains the epicenter in Nigeria here regarding the coronavirus.
I believe that the governor of Lagos State is a man of wisdom, and he would have contacted the different stakeholders involved.
Okay.
That would mean the professionals within the health sector and also the stakeholders within the church in order for him to make that particular decision. Nigeria is not as hard hit as what we have in the UK, and if the church has opened in Nigeria, so I still believe it's actually the right direction.
All right, Edwin Etefia, business intelligence consultant. Many thanks indeed for speaking with Galaxy TV.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll be speaking with a business intelligence consultant from the UK, Edwin Etefia. We hope to speak with him again some other time on the show. You're watching Firecrackers. You will get to meet with my guest here in the studio in just a moment as we get to look at the very critical situation we have in Kaduna State, Southern Kaduna to be precise. In just a moment, stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Firecrackers. Joining me live now in the studios here in Lagos, of course, is Dennis Amakri, an ex-DSS assistant director, and of course the CEO of Zoom Security.
Zoom Lens
Security.
Yeah.
Great to have you join us on the show as we get to look at the very terrible situation we have in southern Kaduna. While we continue speaking, we'll also get to have guests from Kaduna, Abuja, and I think from Calabar, the Cross River State Capital. What are the fundamental issues really in Kaduna State?
We have a multifaceted security problem in Kaduna State, especially the southern Kaduna, you know, which is the basic issues are land, religion, and ethnicity. You know, and people are struggling over these three things because they are either separated by these issues, and then it has taken decades where people have been killing each other, you know, and apparently it has continued for so long now.
And I'm wondering why. Why has it taken the Kaduna State government so long to put an end to this crisis? I mean, almost 28 years ago when we had the first crisis, or the first major crisis, and that's it. Why has it taken the state government so long to put an end to this crisis?
You know, if you are a ruler, you are supposed to be very neutral. Neutral in the sense that everybody belongs to you. If you are a PDP candidate and you win the election to become the governor, then everybody, APC, PDP, everybody else are now part of you. But when the government is, you know, siding one side and then taking decisions that are not very, very agreeable to all parties concerned, then we have a problem, like we're having in Kaduna State right now.
Well, because in the span of 28 years, we've had probably different parties in that state. We have the PDP, we have the APC.
Yes.
We cannot blame it on the current governor, can we?
Well, the governor himself is the pointer. He's the one to show the way. So if he's not neutral, then he's going to escalate the problem.
Okay, let's go see this report as put together by one of our senior anchors here in Lagos, Rita Omodia. We'll take a look at that report because it suggests that maybe there's probably need for restructuring. But we'll go see that report and we'll be back in just a moment. Yeah. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Firecrackers. We hope that those at the control room can do as well to get to ensure that that report is ready as soon as possible. But let's keep talking, Dennis, about the issues that we have in Kaduna State. I mean, it's not just Kaduna. We have a wide range of security issues. It's other banditry in Zamfara. And of course, Boko Haram, ISWAP in Borno, Yobe, and all of that. And I'm just wondering, what exactly could just even be the missing link in terms of all of these security issues?
I think we need a lot of security leadership. Security leadership in the, as given by the president himself.
Who is a former military man.
Who is a former military man, of course. And because all these things are happening all over the country, just like you said, not only in Kaduna State, we have in Northeast, Zamfara, Rivers, when you go down to the Guinea, Gulf of Guinea, the piracy going on there, you know, and kidnapping all over the country. Now, all these things have to be decisively been handled. If you don't handle them decisively, indirectly you're encouraging people to continue doing it because they know that if they do it, there will be no repercussions. So this is where we find ourselves.
In your opinion, especially with the expectations of Nigerians, do you think the president has failed in terms of security?
Well, he came into power with three pillars, which is security, fighting corruption, and then of course fixing the economy. You know, but with the kind of people that are dying every day, thousands and thousands of people, we have lost more people to Boko Haram than we lost during the Civil War. You know, so if we have to put the president on a scale, I think it will be tilting. But it's not too late. Things can be corrected.
Okay, I've just been told that the report is ready, so we'll just go take a look at that report because we also have, I think, a former military general in that report. We'll go see that report and be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
According to the Southern Kaduna People's Union, 63 people have been killed in the past 1 week by the militiamen. While these attacks persist, leaving thousands of people misplaced, the media was awash with the fact that 601 repentant terrorists who have been reintegrated into their communities have been given 20,000 naira stipends. Though the government gave justifiable reasons, it wasn't explicit enough for most Nigerians. On the other hand, the Ministry of Defense, together with the Army, Navy and Air Force, got over 238 billion naira in 2018 and 2019 to fight insecurity, according to reports from the Budget Office of the Federation. How have these resources been judiciously utilized, one may ask, when within the same period, the spate of Boko Haram insurgency, banditry and violence has gone up, and at least 71 soldiers killed in attacks in 2020 alone.
Every sector of Nigeria, so much corruption. Because by now, we should have the latest equipment. We should have the latest gun helicopters and all those stuff here. We should not be asking for aid from America or from any other part of the world because we have spent a lot of money. So I think government need to look into what is going on. The National Assembly that are supposed to be overseeing all those spending, are they on top? Or are we going to have another probe again? They said they are the one taking the contract again. So there's a lot we need to look at to make sure that Nigeria is safe.
And what has been surprising to me as a former soldier is this. Every time the military spokesman talks, he speaks in the abstract. And recently, the chief of army staff said if Nigerians want banditry and insurgency to finish, it will finish. Anywhere in the world, the commander-in-chief will call him and tell him you are sacked. And we tell him you are sacked. For the first time in the history of Nigerian army, bandits are killing soldiers. It's a shame. It's a shame. Bandits killing soldiers. Not 1, 2, or 3, or 4. Many, including a major. No, it's a very, very sad story. It's a very sad story. And that the chief of army staff is not submitting and tell the commander-in-chief, I'm not staying, sir. Even if you want me to stay, I'm going. Something is wrong with us, I'm telling you. And the buck lies on the table of the commander-in-chief. Having said that, the governor, the local government chairman, the traditional ruler, they bear some responsibility for what's happening in their state. What did they do? Stupid things like, how can a governor negotiate with bandits? You gave them money. Ask me. The thousands of naira or millions of naira they gave to them, what purpose has it served? What did they use that money for? Buy more guns? Buy more motorcycles? If the mobile police are not trained enough, train them to fight bandits. But that's what they are trained for. And that's why they give them guns and what? Different uniform. So something is wrong with the training of the mobile police. What do you use them for? Highway. What are they doing there? What are they doing there? So in a way, it is very sad that the whole of our security architecture we need to redesign.
I think time has come for us to take sentiment out and do what is right. We cannot call ourselves federal system of federal state, federal system of government.
Welcome back. We're so sorry we had to end that report, but of course we have it on all of our social media platforms on Facebook or Twitter. You can always have that on even on our YouTube as well. But let's cross over live now to Abuja, the nation's capital, as we are joined by a member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Amos Magaji, representing Zango Kataf Jaba Federal Constituency. Honorable, it's good to have you agree to speak with Galaxy TV, especially in such a short notice. Yes, let's get on and talk about the issues you're facing in your constituency and in your state, in your region. Has the security agencies done just enough?
To be candid, I will say they have done the best they could. Because when you look at it, the number of security that we have there is too small to handle the level of problems we have there. Because we have different type of operations. There is a task force there, Operation Safe Haven. But when you look at the number of personnel on ground, they cannot cover that area. So, judging by their performance, I will say that the number on ground is too small.
Okay, so
to handle some of this.
Yeah. So the number, of course, you said we have probably we don't have enough hands. That's what you're saying now. But how about the techniques and skills and all of that? Would you say that the security agencies are even equipped enough? Are they properly trained and all of that?
I don't think I don't think they are equipped enough. I don't think they are well trained to handle some of the problems we are having. Because when you look at the terrain, like the recent killing that happened,
Okay.
the killers come in and then they attack and they retrieve. Some of the areas there, we had report that they were coming to attack, and then alarm was raised, and still it happened. So that means there's problem with our intelligence gathering. There is problem with the way we execute our programs.
Honorable, because we are really pressed for time, we have to run as fast as possible. But I have spoken to my guest here in the studio, an ex-DSS assistant director, and he's mentioned that land, issues of religion and tribe are probably the basic issues or fundamental issues. Do you agree with him?
Hello?
Yes, Honorable Magaji, I said my guest here in the studio, if you can hear me loud and clear, says that issues bordering on land, then religion and tribe are probably the basic issues causing some of the crisis and killings in southern Kaduna. Do you agree with my guest?
I agree with him absolutely. Absolutely. There are problems related to religion. There are problems that have to do with land. There are problems that have to do with marginalization. There are problems that have to do with ostracization. When you look at the southern Kaduna area, many infrastructures are lacking there. We are majorly Christian. We have different tribes. And then there are also issues of land that, especially in my constituency, that happened in 1992. So I agree with him absolutely that some of the problem we have there had to do with religion, had to do with conflicts concerning land. And then the issue of reprisal also are there. Farmers herders clashes.
Yeah, just before we let you go, how critical is the 1992 White Paper Agreement, and has it been implemented in any way?
To be candid, many of the recommendations in the 1992-1995 White Paper Peace Commission had been implemented. There are just a few issues here, because I had meeting with the community, and both the Hausa, the Kataf, and the Fulani community, and many of them stress on areas where the government have done things, and then areas where they have not done. So there are just some areas where, especially some few areas on land dispute, that have not been concluded.
Honorable Magaji, just one final question. What are the ways forward?
First of all, I will say that leaders from the federal, state, and then local need to be sincere in dealing with this matter. We shouldn't be seen on television or radio saying a different thing, and then we are implementing something contrary. If there must be peace, if we must come to a place whereby we arrest this ugly situation, then we must be sincere in every step we take. So I believe that after that is done, then we really look at the issue of Southern Kaduna. What are the things that have been causing this conflict? It is not unsurmountable. I believe that these things can be solved if we are sincere.
Honorable Magaji, would like to thank you most kindly for speaking with Galaxy TV.
Thank you.
We'll be speaking with Honorable Amos Magaji, a member of the House of Representatives. He represents Zango Kataf Java Federal Constituency. But it's good to actually hear from someone who comes from that particular region, and of course, a member of the House of Representatives. But he's talking about sincerity and You know, the governor of that state just last week made a press conference where he said a couple of things, or a number of things, and the House of Reps came out after that to disagree with the governor in terms of what is causing or what is at the center of some of these issues.
I agree with the National Assembly people. I think the governor is not sincere, and he has been running the state.
If you say he's not sincere, he's the chief security officer.
You can be the chief security officer, but if you are not, like, remember what I said, you must be impartial. If you are not impartial, you cannot run a place like that.
We can sit here and blame the governor of that state if we like, but this crisis has been since 1992 and probably even beyond.
Yes, it's more than two or three decades now. But what is happening is that the governor of that state must come out as an impartial judge or as an impartial leader to take everybody along. You cannot come there and some people go and kill some people of your state, and then you go and pay them money and beg them not to come and kill again. That means that you are giving them more money to go and buy arms to come and kill more people.
So you're totally against negotiating, because we also confirmed from...
No, I feel that it's not only him negotiating, but he should have the political will to get everybody on the table to negotiate, because that's the only way it will be solved. It cannot be solved. Because we do not have this negotiation in just in Kaduna State. Yeah. The governor of Zamfara confirmed that he had to negotiate with the bandits, and then... And what happened later? He did it, and then 3 months later they came back. You know, so it's not a solution.
So it tells probably that's why Senator Ali Ndume has kicked against...
you cannot negotiate with terrorists.
It's a no-no.
No, it's a no-no. Let me put it this way. You can negotiate with them, but you cannot pay them ransom. When you pay them ransom, they take the money and buy more arms. So you can talk to them by third parties, but don't give them that opinion that they can always come to you and get money.
Okay, let's talk about the security agencies. I mean, we have the army, we have the police and other security agencies there, and there have been a couple of meetings, stakeholder meetings, and all of that. I mean, the chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Tuko Buratai, is in the north. He's been there for a long time now. I mean, almost 5 months or thereabouts. Has his presence in the north made any impact?
It has not. It has not. The only thing I can tell you is that, you see, we have an insurgency going on in the northeast, and they've been able to, you know, push them out of the local, of some of the local governments back into Sambisa forest. But they've come back again. In Borno State alone, there are about 12 local governments that Boko Haram people have taken over. And then, of course, you know, the governor of Borno State was ambushed just a couple of days ago. You know, so the level of insecurity is very high. We cannot be making giving mouth service to this. We have to face it. Forget about politics, because I think one of the retardants of what is going on is politics.
Do you agree with some Nigerians that have been calling for the sack of the service chiefs?
It's not a matter of sacking. You know, they've done their best, and when you do your best, then you know, the world is a stage, just like Shakespeare said it. You played your part, you leave the stage, okay? And then in the military, there is a retirement period, because there are other people that are supposed to come and take over this position that are almost retiring, and they are still there.
Well, just before we end this discussion, because we have to talk about something else very, very crucial and essential. When you look at the security situation in Nigeria at the moment, the security challenges and all of that, what do you fear the most?
I think we are in a state of insecurity all over the country. And I think the president should come out and either declare a state of emergency to handle all these problems that are facing us, because it is not just located at one place alone. You know, kidnapping is all over the place. And of course, they should rejig our institutions, because if you arrest people for kidnapping and you don't send them to jail, then other people will just go ahead and do the same thing. So we need a rejigging of our system.
Dennis Amakri would like to thank you most kindly for speaking with Galaxy TV.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, we'll be speaking with Dennis Amakri, an ex-DSS Assistant Director on the Southern Kaduna crisis and killings. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. You're welcome back. You're watching Firecrackers. Now joining me at the table is Mrs. Adebisi Laiwola, the principal and director of Dowen College. Let's get to talk about schools reopening. You have been out of business, permit me in quotes, for a few months now, and the schools have been reopened. Is that great news for you?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I would say it's great news. One, the students who are about to write their exams, they are happy. They are happy because now they have something to look forward to. I remember when the government asked all schools to close on the 23rd of March 2020. We felt that the schools will be asked to reopen very quickly, but at last we are still where we are. And it's an unfortunate situation, but we still thank God that so many good things have come out of the pandemic. For instance, students are now more or less used to e-learning. That is, they are able to do synchronous or asynchronous learning, and that is really I think one of the pluses of the pandemic.
Well, we're making efforts to speak with the Commissioner for Education from Cross River State, Dr. Godwin Amanke, as he joins us to look at schools' resumption or reopening, which is just 2 days away, I think on Tuesday, August 4.
Yes.
But on our platform and some of our programs, we've gotten calls from private teachers who have said they were not being paid while they were in that very long break. I'd like to confirm from you, you're a principal.
Yes,
Did you pay your staff?
Oh, yes. Yes. You can confirm that from anyone.
Now,
yes.
We also confirmed, got words that the federal government had set aside a particular amount of funds to amplify or enhance or assist private schools. Have you gotten yours?
No. So we heard. We heard that the government is setting aside an intervention fund, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure people have really gotten theirs. I really don't know, but we don't have any. We have not received
Parents
any.
have been very concerned about their children going to school because of the fear of the COVID-19 global pandemic. They have absolutely every reason to be concerned. I mean, the virus doesn't care if you're an adult or if you're a child or if you're a teenager.
That's true.
And you think that schools are ready to, welcome children back? We know how carefree some children could be.
Yes, actually the government, that is at the federal level and the state levels, they've done a lot, putting together guidance, documents for private school owners and the general public, as to how to respond to the pandemic situation. So, like I said, the federal sent out sometime in July, middle of July, a set of protocols or guidelines for schools, and learning facilities. And Lagos State too did the same and released theirs, I think, earlier on last week. So with all that in place, we have no alternative but to follow through the guidelines and work to ensure that our parents are comfortable and they can actually release their children to us in school. It is very basic, if one understands the mode of transmission of this virus, once you understand the mode of transmission and you're able to follow through with the prevention, all things being equal, you may not have the disease. So the important thing, as they are put in place, is social distancing, social or physical distancing, the use of face mask, and so many other protocols. So at our own end, that's Darwin College, we have tried, we have been working behind the scenes, and we have put together the protocols. We have put together the, we have prepared our premises, okay? That's number one, we have prepared our premises. We have prepared our people, meaning that we have trained our staff. We have had meetings with some parents, we have had meetings with students who are supposed to be in the terminal class and be resuming soon. So, and also we have put in place a restricted access to our premises. And I think with all that in place, our parents are confident and I think they are happy and they will be willing to release their children to us.
If a child comes to school and probably has high temperature and all of that, would you send that child back or something?
We have told them, and there's an understanding. The parents understand that a child with high temperature will not be allowed to enter the premises. So at the entrance, the use of non-contact thermometer is in place. So anyone whose temperature is higher than normal will be asked to step aside, and go home. And at our gates, we have a medical doctor who is on our staff, who is also going to be there. And we have nurses, we have 2 nurses to help us through this period. So there will be that screening at the gate. So if your temperature is high and we suspect a fever, you are not going to be allowed to come into the premises.
Okay, and we understand that the exams are just a few weeks away as well?
Yes, the exams are supposed to start on the 17th of August. So just about 2 weeks from now, in fact,
How effective was even the e-learning? I mean, it's not something we're very used to in this part of the world, but so how effective was it?
Well, that's...
Because of this long break?
Yes, that's right. But the thing is, learners, if you have a 21st century mindset, then you've got to be a learner, whether you are a teacher or a student. So it's part of the mindset. People have had to learn new things. People have learned to work on different platforms, learning platforms, and we have ours which we use. We have helped our students to know how to use these platforms, and so they've been on with their e-learning program. So we've been having our e-learning, and we thank God for that.
and well, I know I spoke with a couple of parents, and they actually complained that the charges were also very, very high. And well,
I really can't say much about the charges, because each school will know what they want to put in. But I know Lagos State is also doing something free for the students.
And I'm sure you definitely, with all pleasure, appreciate the chance to welcome other students back as well.
Oh yes, but for now we are being restricted. We are only allowed to bring in the SS3 students. So probably the government wants to see what's happening, maybe thereafter invite the GSS3, and then it goes down like that.
Okay, we just have to take a quick break. When we come back now, we'll have our concluding thoughts on this. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Firecrackers, and we are live here in Lagos, Nigeria. Now, let's cross over live to Kaduna State, where we have the President, Southern Kaduna People's Union. We are absolutely pressed for time, but it's good to have you join us, Jonathan Asake. You have been in the news for quite some time now. You are very concerned about the crisis and the killings in your state, but bring us up to speed. How much progress has been made?
Well, thank you very much. I'm not sure we have made any much progress. The only thing that is going on, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Jonathan Asake. We can hear you.
Okay. The only thing I know, the governor of our state is been trying to change narrative. You know, where we have communities that are being invaded, not only one local government. Of all the 12 local governments, none has been left by this invasion. Several communities have been displaced. They are now living outside. They cannot go to farm. And they are just there, and nobody can take care of them. The governor prefers to misinform the world that it is a communal clash and that it is a clash between Kataviut and Fulani. It is not. Nobody is clashing with any other person. And he prefers also to say that it is a clash over land. Nobody is fighting over land here. What we have is that Fulani militia.
Well, I'm afraid we have to end on that now because we have issues with the network. But we were speaking with the President, Southern Kaduna People's Union, Jonathan Sake. Well, I'm afraid we just have to probably end the program even now. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adebisi Laiwola, the Principal Director of Dowen College. We hope that you keep our children safe.
Oh, yes.
We hope that you do so.
We'll try our very best.
Okay.
So thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. So that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier we spoke to a business intelligence consultant from the United Kingdom, Edwin Etefia. We also had Dennis Amakri, an ex-DSS assistant director. And then just a while ago we had to speak with Jonathan Asake. Lest I forget, we also spoke with Honorable Amos Magaji from the nation's capital, Abuja. And of course, we thought that we could also just quickly speak to Jonathan Asake about the internet and network. So we have to go now. Join us next week, and I'm sure we'll definitely have a better chat. I'm Kelly Egiga. Bye for now.
And here is a unique opportunity